Miguel Heredia back here on the CRP, the Cage Rage podcast, is pumped up right now. I am psyched because we got women's boxing front and center this week, and this is big because, you know, the women have been toiling, in boxing for a long time. I'm talking about this decade. There have been a lot of women fighting in different areas of the world, in Argentina, Mexico, and Europe, and, in the United States, we have Claressa Shields in this match, and they've been putting in the work, and it's time that they start to get the attention, I think. I think that, if you're watching women's boxing for the first time nowadays, you're going to be very surprised at the level these ladies bring, because there are some very polished, pugilists that are out there, and we are about to get perhaps the biggest fight of all time here, and that is this Saturday, April 13th at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. I know the building well, and it's a traditional boxing site. A lot of boxing has gone down there historically, so they're setting some precedent this weekend. We got them on Showtime Boxing, and it's Christina Hammer taking on Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields holding 3 of the world titles in the middleweight division. Christina Hammer holds the last of the major world titles, so it is world title unification action here. Right now, Claressa Shields, the American, she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and 8-0 as a pro. Christina Hammer, 24-0 as a pro, but Shields going in as a big favorite. She's at -400, Hammer at +325. That hasn't changed over the last week. Now that we're in fight week, we'll see as we get closer to the fight if any money comes in on Hammer, or if that stays steady, or how it goes. Right now, you got to bet $400 on Claressa Shields to win $100 back, so she's a pretty strong favorite. There are odds up for the rest of the card. There's another ladies' world title fight on this card, so you really got to check it out and support the ladies' boxing here. I'm not sure if this is going to air on Showtime, but Elena Gradinar, who's 9-0, is vying for the IBF's vacant title at featherweight against Brenda Karen Carbajal. Carbajal is 15-4-1 heading in there. Besides that, the card has a lot of heavyweight men, in support here, and we've got odds there. In the 10-round bout, we've got Jermaine Franklin. He's the undefeated prospect. He's coming in at -475, facing Rydell Booker. 10 rounds of heavyweight action there. Franklin 17-0, Rydell Booker 25-1. So you're getting a pretty competitive match there on paper. Further down the card, you got Otto Wallin. He's a big favorite at -1700 as he takes on Nick Kisner. Kisner at +800. That's also 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Wallin 20-0, Kisner 21-4-1. And the last of the heavyweight fights comes to us in the 8-round category. And you got Samuel Peter making a comeback there at -3000 as he takes on Mario Heredia. Peter, obviously, a long-time veteran who has been around for a little bit. And we get him here at 37-6. Heredia 15-6-1. So he's getting a fight that lets him, tune himself back up or get himself back into shape. We'll see. In this heavyweight division, I don't know what Samuel Peter thinks, but, everybody must be jumping back in thinking they're going to get a title shot. A couple other bouts of the 8-round variety are getting attention at the sport books really fast. Super bantamweight action, competitive stuff here. Jesse Angel Hernandez, -195 favorite, taking on Marcus Bates. Bates at +145. And in the super flyweight division, we've got Jarico O'Quinn, favorite at -475 over Vicente Alfaro Martinez. Martinez kicking back at +325. The big news, Claressa Shields, Christina Hammer. I'm predicting a real high-level fight. Bottom line is that they know it's a showcase, and they know that basically they can lift the entire profile of women's boxing by putting on a performance here on Showtime that is memorable. I think both girls have legacy and that type of thinking in mind, and they've got the resume and the pedigree to back it up. Shields, not a long-time pro, but she's been racking up championship belts as a pro in her short career, moved to 8-0. And Hammer, well, she's pretty battle-tested. I mean, at 24-0, she's fought a lot of real quality opposition in Europe. A couple memorable fights with Kaylee Reese, an American competitor who's a pretty good competitor in terms of a real road warrior, and she's taken some losses on the road in some fights, that maybe the odds were a little bit stacked against her. So Hammer, definitely battle-tested. Now she comes to the United States for the first time to take on Shields. This is a hell of a fight. This is possibly the best fight of the weekend. To me, you got Vasily Lomachenko the day before, but he's in a crush fight. His odds are minus 7,000. So Shields and Hammer are front and center in the eyes of the boxing world this weekend. It's definitely a fight worth watching, and I think that if you're not accustomed to seeing women's boxing, you're going to be unbelievably surprised at the way these girls bring it. And once again, I'm Miguel Heredia for the CRP. We are going to be looking at these odds again after the weigh-ins to see if any actions come in either way. And we will check in and see if that other title fight's getting any love or any odds as well. I'm Miguel Heredia. That's the CRP's Wage Rage for Shields and Hammer, the big fight, April 13th.